The war with Iran has reached its most critical juncture. All options are on the table as the world waits anxiously for the next major move from either side. Today, President Donald Trump landed in Beijing for a historic summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping, arriving at a moment when global tensions are peaking. This high-stakes meeting takes place against the backdrop of the ongoing conflict with Iran, intensifying trade disputes, technological rivalry, and strategic competition over Taiwan and rare earth minerals. Accompanied by senior government officials and top American CEOs, President Trump aims to secure concrete agreements that will advance U.S. interests in both economic and security spheres. At the conclusion of the visit, both sides are expected to announce a reciprocal trip by President Xi to the United States later this year. In the Middle East, the situation remains highly volatile. Qatar has stepped up its mediation efforts with Iran, while President Trump has indicated he will make final decisions on potential renewed military action only after returning from China. Senior sources suggest that if fighting resumes, the operation may be renamed from Epic Fury to Heavy Hammer. Iran, meanwhile, has dramatically hardened its position, presenting 5 strict preconditions for any return to negotiations with Washington. These include a complete end to fighting on all fronts, especially in Lebanon, the full removal of sanctions and release of frozen assets, compensation for war damages, and recognition of Iranian claims in the Strait of Hormuz. American and Israeli officials view these demands as unrealistic stalling tactics intended to buy the regime time to regroup. Inside Iran, a significant power consolidation has taken place. Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei has positioned himself as the undisputed sole decision-maker, sidelining expectations that the Revolutionary Guards would seize greater control. The regime is ruthlessly suppressing any signs of internal dissent through intensified executions and crackdowns. Economically, Iran is spiraling. The currency has collapsed, food prices have more than doubled in the past year, and widespread layoffs have fueled public despair. Iran's primary oil export terminal on Karg Island has been almost deserted for days, with tankers turning into floating storage facilities as storage tanks reach capacity. Iran risks having to slow or halt production at major oil fields. The regime is currently losing an estimated $400 to $500 million per day due to the effective maritime pressure in the Strait of Hormuz. Europe is finally beginning to respond. Britain has committed mine countermeasure vessels, Typhoon fighter jets, and the destroyer HMS Dragon to an international mission aimed at securing the Strait of Hormuz. Lithuania is deploying 40 sailors, France has positioned an aircraft carrier in the Red Sea, and Italy is moving additional warships into the area. While questions remain about the coalition's exact leadership and rules of engagement, the growing European involvement sends a clear message that the world will not allow Iran to hold global energy supplies hostage. Beneath the surface, the shadow war has intensified. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates have conducted direct strikes on Iranian territory, while Qatar reportedly carried out its own operation earlier in the campaign. In a bold and revealing incident, Kuwaiti forces foiled an attempted infiltration by Revolutionary Guard members on Bubiyan Island. 4 Guard operatives, including 2 colonels, were arrested following a firefight. Iran denied the operation, claiming it was a navigation error, but the episode underscores Tehran's continued efforts to destabilize the Gulf region even as it speaks of negotiations. At the heart of this conflict lies a much larger global contest, the strategic rivalry between the United States and China. President Trump and President Xi meet not only to discuss trade imbalances and technology competition but to address how the Iran crisis affects both nations' interests. China has long relied on discounted Iranian oil to fuel its economy and has supplied Tehran with critical components for its missile program and surveillance capabilities. The U.S.-led pressure campaign, including the disruption of Iranian oil flows through Venezuela and the current blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, has forced China to draw down its strategic reserves. The summit offers an opportunity for Washington to press Beijing to use its leverage over Iran in exchange for concessions on trade, chips, and rare earth minerals. Many observers anticipate a possible surprise announcement from President Trump that could reshape the dynamics on Taiwan, trade, or the Middle East. The attempted Iranian infiltration into Kuwait highlights Tehran's dangerous strategy. Even while discussing ceasefires, the regime continues hybrid operations designed to intimidate Gulf states, threaten international shipping, and drive up global energy prices, all in an effort to pressure the United States and its allies through economic pain. Iran's negotiating demands are equally revealing. while Washington insists on the verifiable removal of high-enriched uranium stockpiles and the dismantling of key nuclear and missile infrastructure, Iran offers only partial measures with built-in escape clauses. From Israel's perspective, any agreement must fundamentally change the reality on the ground, eliminating breakout capability, cutting off funding and weapons to Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis, and establishing robust enforcement mechanisms. History has shown that paper agreements without ironclad verification are meaningless against this regime. The pressure on Iran is becoming unsustainable. With oil exports crippled, the economy contracting rapidly, and public suffering mounting, the regime has responded with greater repression rather than reform. Public executions are intended to deter protests, but they also reveal deep insecurity. The nuclear issue remains central. Israel and the United States cannot accept a situation in which Iran retains the material and knowledge necessary to produce nuclear weapons. The Jewish state, which has faced existential threats for decades, understands that temporary pauses only allow the regime to rebuild its capabilities. Joining the conversation is Daniel Cohen, veteran journalist, host of The Daniel Cohen Show, and founder of Real Life Network. Daniel brings a unique perspective, combining deep knowledge of American politics with life on the ground in Israel. Israel and the United States are winning this conflict decisively, Cohen states. This is not even close. Iran's war machine has been severely degraded, yet we must finish the job. The regime still holds enough enriched uranium for multiple nuclear bombs. We cannot accept any deal that leaves their infrastructure or breakout capability intact. Cohen emphasizes the economic dimension. Iran is losing hundreds of millions of dollars every day. The pressure continues. Their economy cannot survive this for long. Once the money dries up, their ability to fund the Revolutionary Guards and their network of terrorist proxies will collapse. He warns against repeating the mistakes of the JPOA, stressing that results matter more than signatures on paper. We must have real enforcement mechanisms. The Ayatollahs have proven time and again they cannot be trusted. Both Cohen and Shoshani highlight the growing importance of the information war. This is also a battle for truth, Cohen explains. While we fight with precision on the battlefield, the other side floods social media with propaganda. TikTok algorithms push false narratives of genocide and famine even as people in Gaza run marathons and engage in normal activities. We must keep speaking truth clearly and loudly. He notes the spiritual dimension as well. This is not only a physical war, it is a spiritual and civilizational struggle between radical Islam and the values of freedom and civilization. Looking ahead, the China summit represents a critical diplomatic front. Success there could help maintain pressure on Iran without immediate large-scale escalation. Failure could bring the military option back to the forefront rapidly. For Israel, the stakes are existential. The Jewish state must ensure that the threat from Iran is neutralized permanently, not merely delayed, as the IDF continues operations to dismantle terror infrastructure in Lebanon and beyond. The message remains firm. Israel will defend itself and will not accept a future in which Iran maintains the ability to threaten its existence. The coming days will be decisive. President Trump's meetings in Beijing, the strengthening international coalition in the Strait of Hormuz, the continued economic pressure on Iran, and Israel's determination to finish the mission will shape the outcome. The world is watching closely as the balance of power in the Middle East and beyond hangs in the balance. This is the unfiltered reality from the front lines. The fight continues on multiple fronts: military, economic, diplomatic, and in the realm of public truth. Israel stands strong, and those who value freedom and security must stand with it. This paragraph-style version flows naturally as a continuous news-style narrative or polished voice-over script. It preserves all key information, analysis, and tone from the previous script while removing the broadcast formatting, speaker labels, and chapter breaks. Let me know if you want any adjustments in length, tone, or emphasis.